You need therapy, bro.
I'm trying to say that when a person goes into religion, there's a never-ending cycle.
But that's the beauty of it. Exactly. Don't you understand? It's infinitely great.
He sees the never-ending as a negative.
Yeah. You see it as a burden. That's the problem. You see it as a burden. So we got to talk about that.
I can't wake up and put 9 films on my head. I can't do that.
No, we don't do that.
No one puts 9 films.
You guys put 2 each.
No,
I don't.
Next year's gonna be 4, bro.
I don't.
I put 3 actually. That's a different story.
3. There we go. I wanted to get up and like, yo, it was good to see you. I'll see you Yom Kippur. And I wanted to go home, bro. But I love the guy. I have love for him.
Stop, Ilya. Stop.
I can't pick my book in peace now.
I just want you to know that I wanna go to a place where I find you, a place I call home, a place where I'm not alone, and maybe I'll grow just a little bit more, and I'll be adored, then I'll be adored.
Welcome once again to another episode of the Kosher Controversy Podcast. We are back to talk about another controversial yet interesting topic that I'm sure has entered many of our viewers' minds. We have to my right my good friend Daniel Kanimov. I am Yosef Zerav. This is right here Michael, the man on the mic, Kaziev, and my brother Ilya Zerav. We are here today again to speak about a very good topic that I think a lot of you will agree. It's something that we all went through. It's something that a lot of people are going through now. To put it together, the basic overall title of this episode or topic will be the journey of becoming religious. Becoming religious, its challenges, its benefits, and its expectations. Not necessarily in that order, but we're going to hit all those points hopefully. Any opening remarks first?
No.
No. Let's just get into it. Let's dive right in if that's the case. Now, I want to make one quick disclaimer, and that is, many people who are on the journey of, let's say, spiritual investigation, they may think about different religions and learn about them and research about them to see what they believe is true, what they connect with more. We're not necessarily talking about in this video proofs for why Torah and Judaism is the right religion to follow, or at least in our opinion. Meaning that's not the main purpose of this video. We're talking about somebody who was Jewish,
who's already on that path.
Exactly, who already realized
starting on that
already
path.
starting that path.
Or gonna start on that path.
Or thinking about starting that path.
Exactly.
Okay, something like that. There are sources out there. Maybe one day we will dedicate an episode to proving, or quote unquote, bringing evidence and proving and supporting the validity of the divinity of the religion of Judaism and Torah. But that's not the purpose of this particular video.
No, it's not.
So what is the purpose, Mike?
The purpose of this podcast, honestly, is to better understand when people are becoming religious, what are certain expectations, like we said, what is maybe a good way to do it? Because I myself see a lot of people who are becoming religious, and unfortunately they fall off. And one of the main reasons I see why they fall off is because they take on too much too fast. Mm-hmm. And when they do that, they can't handle it. It's a lot of pressure on them. And then they, instead of doing it the right way, they just completely collapse and they say, this is not for me.
So let's start in the beginning. Why should a person become religious in the first place?
Okay, so if you don't
mind,
what
are the benefits?
If you don't mind, I'd like to start off with a personal story of mine, right?
Okay, story time with Mike. Here we go.
You have a personal story, you realize?
Yeah, I love it. Okay, so
this was I
was not religious. I became religious at 20 years old, but I was a boy. I always believed in God. I knew what Hashem was. I knew that there was a God. There's that. That's the traditional beliefs. I had it all down. It's just, again, I did not keep Shabbat. I did not keep kosher. I put on tefillin very sporadically whenever I felt like it. Like after 13, I put it on very consistently for a couple of years, and then I just stopped the older I got. And then for many years, I was like completely not religious at all.
After that?
After
your bar mitzvah?
After my bar mitzvah, yeah. I put on tefillin very rarely, because nobody was pushing me to do it, and I didn't go to shul. I know Yom Kippur, I didn't go to shul on Yom Kippur. We were just standing outside the synagogue, chilling around.
Was there that one moment in your life where you finally said in your mind, okay, now I have to dedicate myself? What was that change? What was that click?
I'll be honest with you, a big reason why I became religious is because of you. You know, you started ascending the ladder of religion, like I say,
It's actually a
younger.
book. There's a book called Ascending the Ladder. By
14, actually, I did not know that, but you were like 14 years old, right? You had an incident in your life, and, you know, you always kind of brought this upon us, you know, Danny, me, Joey, and our other friends. So, you always, I remember you always just like, Mike, when are you going to start keeping Shabbat? You always just like throw that in there. And I always told you, Yosef, I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready yet. And then one day, thank God, I became ready. But
I used the fear card on you because I knew it would work. With you, I think we're gonna talk about that.
Everybody.
No. With him,
Fear doesn't work with everybody, bro.
yeah, it's not.
I
that's
remember,
true.
I'll tell you
It
one
depends
thing,
on the person.
and I think this is going to be a great way to start. I'm not a fan, and me and Danny always spoke about this, I'm not a fan of people become religious when there's a tragedy. I understand that sometimes there's a necessity,
It's common,
but
unfortunately.
it's, yes, and me and Danny always spoke about this. Why do people become religious when something bad happens? Why does it have to get to that point where then, you go find God? You know, no, and me and Danny always have like conversations about this where, no, we wanted to not take that route. We wanted to find God without a tragedy. And Baruch Hashem, I did, and Danny did, and I mean, I honestly, personally, I don't know much of your story, and I hope you're going to share it here. But yours was sort of a tragedy, I guess you want to call it.
Mine was a story that I'm gonna share hopefully, but I'm gonna let Danny say something first.
What do you mean? You were part
So
of it.
my story also resonated with Yosef, set with Yosef. Yosef and Joey, actually, both were friends. We were at a non-kosher place.
Shout out to Joey.
We were at a non-kosher place having food.
I was doing Kiruv. I had to be there.
I just turned 18.
Where was it? You remember?
Did you
I
say you
remember
were
it was
doing
a
Kiruv?
Leila Sukalam.
Let's set the scene. This is many years ago.
This is when we were 18. This is
This is more
2010.
than 15
Summer of
years ago, about
2010.
15 years
Yeah,
ago.
he's good with dates. That's one thing you
Summer
guys gotta learn about
2007.
Danny. He knows exactly
We
the
just-
weather at the exact
We
moment
just
of big
came out of a
events in life.
Catholic.
We just came out of
Catholic
carnival.
The church.
Yeah, in St. John's.
Which is, by the way, not
Church.
allowed.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway,
Right, it's outside.
The money that you're going goes to fund the church. It's not
We'll
permitted
just walk in,
whatsoever.
not pay for anything.
And still, the whole area is entrenched
This is
with,
for another time,
with
bro.
impurity of idol worship, which is for another time, which we don't want to talk about now.
so we're sitting there having great discussions. Somehow religion came up, and I told Yosef, I said, Yosef, you know, like Mike just mentioned, I said, I don't like when people turn to religion when something bad happens to them. I was like, it's almost like hypocritical. I understand why they do it. Sometimes it comes down to it, and there's nothing wrong with it. I just didn't want to be that kind of person. I didn't want to come to God when something went wrong in my life. So Yosef asked me, he's like, how's your life right now? I said, bro, my life is perfect. Lakers just won a championship.
Big Lakers fan.
Not anymore, but whatever. Just graduated, everything, got into any school I wanted. Everything was perfect in my life, like peak. Whatever I wanted, I needed, I had. And Yosef was like, well, you know, maybe now is a good time. That way you won't be a hypocrite. I was like, you know, you're right. I was like, but you know, I just don't know what to do. And I was like, you know, I don't believe the rabbis. I was like, I feel like they put their own things into it. I just believe the 10 Commandments. That was my thing. Just the 10 Commandments. Yosef's like, yeah, you believe the 10 Commandments? He's like, you know, one of the 10 Commandments is keeping Shabbat. I was like, oh, it is?
Number 4.
I didn't really put 2 and 2 together. I was like, oh, if it's keeping Shabbat. I was like, you know what? This week I'm turning 18. Let me test it out. I just want to try it. No commitment, nothing. Just want to test it out for a week. That week, you guys all came to my house. It was my birthday.
Good.
We had a meal. And that's when I kept Shabbat, that Friday night. Going to Saturday, my family came over from my house. I remember I went to Mike's house after, and it was a great Shabbat for me. Peaceful. It was like, I didn't expect to feel that way on Shabbat. I just thought I was going to be bored. That's what I thought. I was going to not touch electricity. I was going to be bored, and then next week I wasn't going to do it again. But after Shabbat ended, I was like, wow, you know, I want to try this again next week. Nobody pushed me. Nobody pressured me. You didn't say, oh, how was it? Nothing. I just I called you, I think, right after. I was like, yo, you know, I'm going to do it next week again. I did it again. I did it consistently. I never not did it from that point forward. But I got bored. I didn't know what I was doing. All I was doing was just not touching my phone, not watching TV, and just going to the park.
Right. So that's
But
the
no,
next
no,
aspect. The growth aspect of it comes over
I want
time.
to add to this. When I started keeping Shabbat a couple of months later, it was, I mean, before I started keeping Shabbat, he would come to my house and be like, Mike, do this. Mike, because
Yeah,
we didn't.
he was my
You were the Shabbat
He was
boy.
my Shabbat boy for the first.
Because we didn't understand, you know, the rules behind it. We just understood you yourself can't do it. So if another person is not keeping Shabbat, I can just tell him to do it. Whatever. So I'm like, yo, Dad, does really keep a Shabbat for you, bro? I'm just like basically doing everything for you. He's like, whatever. At the end of the day, that's a start, right? And then I started keeping Shabbat.
And we went to shul.
And no, but he was gonna say it was getting boring because again the summer just ended.
You had no Shabbat schedule.
And we kept Shabbat when it was the longest. That also I think helped because in the summer that also helped.
But also like it was getting to a point where it was getting stagnant because we didn't want to watch TV on Shabbat anymore. Like okay, the TV's on, so we'll just watch it. We wanted to do something, so that's when we started to go into shul. We met somebody named Cohen. And that's when we started learning. And when we started learning,
that opened up the
whole learning about it. We started appreciating it. We started
Shabbat became not only just Shabbat's cool. I'm relaxing. I don't have my phone. I'm chilling. It became, sensational.
Yeah, we had a schedule.
A different aura.
We learned, and then after Shabbat, remember, we used to meet up with our friends and we just talk about what we learned. And we would argue with you.
We used to go out on Saturday night and talk about the
Carl's and Gabby's.
Yeah, that's a different place now.
No more.
Let me share my story quickly. It's a pretty intense story. I was 13 years old at the time. I had an uncle who was living with us. My mother's brother, who's actually a lot younger than him. He's only 6 years older than me. So he always felt like my older brother. He grew up in Israel, but then he moved here. And he had a major tragic event that happened to him, a major car accident where he was spared and the other person in the car became paralyzed for life. So after that, he and his wife-to-be at the time started becoming a lot more religious. And he grew up in Israel. He understood Hebrew. He latched on very quickly, and he started telling us stories at home. Remember, I'm 13 years old at the time. I remember I had a cast, I had a broken arm. Remember that story, how I broke my arm wrestling in our friend's house. It was in another person's house, and he still has the footage of that, by the way, which he's still like holding hostage against me.
Yeah.
Anyway, I had a cast. It was the summertime. The Shabbats were long, and after hearing all those stories from my uncle, I said, you know what, fine, let's keep this one Shabbat. Let's try it. So what would happen on Shabbat was, he would stay home, obviously, he was keeping Shabbat. Me, I would stay home. My parents were not home, okay, they're not Frum, they didn't come from that background, they would go to work at the time. And I had two little brothers. Here's one of them, right? So he used to go with my parents. So if I'm 13, they're, what are you? 9 years old, 9 years old.
9 years old. Yeah.
So he would go with my parents. Our other brother, who was his twin, his fraternal twin, he stayed home with me. So he also tried to keep Shabbat that week. So we're keeping Shabbat, and of course, my uncle would go to shul and go in the morning to pray, in the afternoon to pray. He's part of the schedule. We just sort of latched on to do however we could. So we went to shul in the morning. Now the afternoon shul, mincha time on Shabbat, he would travel all the way to Main Street, where his wife-to-be lived at the time. He wanted to interact with her family, all the way to Main Street to presently the big shul, Rabbi. Igal Chaim of Shul, Rabbi Chaim of Shul. He would go, Simcha. He would go all the way there. That was a long walk. We lived in Fresh Meadows. It was about an hour walk. So me and my little brother, I'm 13, he's 9. We're sitting there, we're thinking, we're not going to walk this whole way right now. We'll just stay home. We'll figure it out. I mean, we used to stay home all the time by ourselves. What's the big deal? We didn't want to make that whole walk. There was a whole back and forth discussion, debate. Should we go? Should we not? Finally, we decided somehow, I don't know what pushed me, we decided to go. Long walk. It was during the summertime. Shabbat finished late. By the time we took the bus home, it was 10 p.m.
And don't forget, there were no precautions where Shabbat lights, everything was dark in the house.
Right. So we didn't, this is the first Shabbat, we had no idea how to prepare. We had no timers. We didn't know what to do with the lights. We were trying to we knew that electricity you can't touch. So we weren't trying. If I'm 13,
2005.
Yeah, 2005. So finally, we come home on the bus. My parents are already home with my little brother Ilya, and he can tell you this part of the story better. But when we get there, all the lights were on in the house. The doors were open. My parents didn't touch anything. They said, don't touch anything, don't touch it. Why? Don't tamper with the evidence. The cops were coming. Apparently the house was ransacked at that time. During that time, between the time that we left to Mincha and came back. We left around, 5, 6 o'clock, came back at 10. In that time window, the house was ransacked.
For some reason, I'm hearing the story not for the first time, but I always thought
I told you this story.
I know, but I always thought it was during Shacharit.
No, it was nighttime.
So what happened was when we walked in, the entire house was destroyed. Everything
was flipped upside down.
For a certain moment, I think me and my parents thought that maybe they just had some friends over and they were.
What a party!
No, because you know what it was? We went to his room. We saw all the closets were emptied out. His bed was all over the place. I think at a certain point, my parents thought that you came over or whatever. Wrestling or whatever.
The whole house?
But then when we realized, when we went to the kitchen, living room, and everything was destroyed, like, no, this doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense.
I don't think Yosef would do that.
One thing led to the other, and I was a kid. My father figured out much faster than I did. He goes, listen, we got robbed.
Yeah.
House got
No, the
robbed.
TV was gone. No, I heard the TV.
Everything was gone. At that
No,
time,
Major
there was no
electronics.
tracking
My
for
laptop was
electronics.
gone. Yeah.
At that time, if you rob a electronic now, you can track it. At that time, nothing was trackable.
Yeah.
Everything was brand new, I remember.
Yeah.
And they took every single item.
And you guys
possible.
just moved. Like this.
The
was
crazy
like,
thing is, I was a 13-year-old kid with a 9-year-old little brother. I had a broken arm. We were going to keep the lights off. We were trying
Yeah,
to keep
that was the
Shabbat.
whole point.
We were trying to keep Shabbat. They would have broken in and saw us there. Who knows what would have happened to us?
Yes.
Didn't you tell me you found something in the closet that they were gonna use if they saw people?
What?
What did you
Yeah,
say?
you used to say
said
there's like
there was
box
a-
cutters.
There was a
and
box cutter
there
or
was
rope
box
in
cutters and ropes that you
in the
found.
closet
something.
somewhere
We
that
used
you
to share
found.
that.
I don't remember
I
that.
think
Maybe
that was
that
just
was
his.
Traumatization.
Yeah. So the whole idea was not just getting robbed; it was getting robbed on Shabbat with the lights off.
Right. So the
Right.
point is, at that moment, I had an epiphany. Something hit me hard. I was a 13-year-old kid, but I was, a pretty good thinker for my age. And I thought, okay, God is clearly speaking to me openly right now.
Clearly.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
The one time you started to keep Shabbat, you almost didn't go. You could have been God knows where right now.
Yeah.
I said, okay, from now on, I'm keeping Shabbat for the rest of my life. And that's where everything started.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good thing your house got robbed. It helped us.
Right? Listen, domino effect.
Some of our family members, I'm not going to say who, I'll use the word, they had a calva home here, where basically they're saying is if you were home, then
You
maybe
would've
they
knocked
wouldn't have came in. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I like this.
Because those are the
I'm
anti-Torah
serious.
people are saying
I'm
that.
serious.
They're using the Kal
We had
Vachomer.
some-
When it's convenient for them, they use the Kal
The
Vachomer.
basic saying is, if they would have walked in and saw two kids on the couch, they would have completely turned around.
Yeah,
As if
yeah,
they're
sure,
turned
sure.
around out.
Because that's what would have happened.
The two kids are the most valuable things.
So
They
share
would have
some
taken
stories.
them and
You want
God
to share your
forbid.
story?
Yeah. So my story started many years after that. Not many years, but like truly actually digging into religion. So again, my brother started to do it, and then my twin brother Manny, he would automatically latch onto him, right? Even as kids, Yu-Gi-Oh cards, Monster Man cards. I was always sitting on the sidelines for some reason, but whatever. So even with religion. Right? They always understood each other. I guess you could say in an intellectual way. They always understood each other. Maybe they didn't always get along with each other, but they always understood each other when it comes to actually doing something. So for the longest time, I had this this schedule. I was always with my parents when it comes to work. I was always with my dad. I would always go with him to work every free
Till
day.
this
I had.
day.
Yeah, till this day. Every free day I had, I would go with my dad to work. So slowly. He was a lot older than I am, so 13, I think you just graduated Halsey, and then you were going into high school.
yeah.
So he was going into high school. So my story is a bit different. After many, many years, I think I was already, this is when he wasn't married yet, he still lived with us. And I think I was about 16, 17, maybe a little bit younger, and he was about 19, 20. Just around the time that he was getting married. And I got a little bit closer, but again, after many years of realization, I started to kind of, become religious or dive into religion. It was only because of him. Literally, he had it because of my uncle, of our uncle, and I had it because of him. But we had two different paths, though. He did it because, like you said, he had an epiphany and he became interested himself.
Look at the big impact you had on everyone here.
I did it. I did it. Was only at that time. I don't know. I kind of looked up to him. But
Not anymore.
At that time.
at that time I looked up to him because he was my older brother. So whatever my older brother did or said, I had to do.
You should still look up to him.
And
Nah, I don't know
I'll
about
be the first one. I'll be the first one to admit that at that time, I was still young, and I did not pull you along, I think, as strong as I should have.
Because you were going through it yourself.
Exactly.
Yes, but I was also like the older brother who didn't want to chill with his younger brother kind of
Right, at
stereotype.
that time,
and that was my mistake.
When I was 15, 16, he's 20, you look at your older brother like, yo, he's a lot more older than me. Now we're almost, like, we're basically in our 30s, it's like, okay, my older brother's only a few years older than me. Like, we kind of understand each other. But at that time, basically what I was saying was, I only pursued religion was because of Yosef. It wasn't because I had a tragedy, God forbid, or I had an epiphany, or I did some digging. I literally came home one day like, okay, listen, I can't go to work anymore. My brothers are going to shul on Saturday. I have to go join them. So that's literally what I did for the longest time. You know, to a certain point where, again, all of us went to public school here, right?
Yes.
So we never knew what yeshiva was, or
No, we knew what it was, but
no, we knew what it was, but we never experienced it.
Yeah.
What kollel was, so I kind of sort of at that time lived a double life, not to the full extent, but like I'm going to public school in the morning, you know, and even at that time in high school, I would wear tzitzit, I would wear kippah. My freshman year, I remember this.
I'm so proud of him.
My freshman, I would pray 3 times a day.
you trust Allah.
I don't know what happened. 3 times a day I would pray, but at the same time I would live my, I guess you could say, secular life. But I still made time for my religious
But
life.
that's a common path.
It's a challenge.
So I did that, but I only did that, and I only realized this many years. I only did it because of him. I didn't want to upset him. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to upset him. So
You
I
did it
that.
out of guilt.
It wasn't guilt. It wasn't guilt. No,
Deep
guilt,
down.
No, guilt wasn't something. No, I just
Or
I didn't-
fear of shame, what I would have said to you.
Fear of shame. I didn't
Oh,
want
so
him to be upset.
letting his big brother down.
I didn't let my older brother
Yeah.
down. And to a certain point, I would go to a kollel every night with him.
It was a night class that
It was
we
a
had every
night class
night.
where I've gone for like literally for 5 years, at least 5 years, 4 years. My entire high school career,
Where's your payot?
my belt, same place where my keep is. You get what I'm saying? So I literally went to yeshiva with him at night. We were there for about 2.5 hours, right? For 5
No,
years.
hour and a half.
Whatever, 8 to 10.
No,
I'll say,
like
8 to
2.5
10. Let me ask you a question. If you go somewhere for 4 years, would you learn something? Would you understand something?
Of course.
Ask me if I remember anything from those classes.
Because
I
you
remember
weren't
nothing.
invested. You
I
weren't.
wasn't even, and I would force us. I remember my friends would call me, be like, "Yo, let's go hang out after 10 o'clock. I'm going to learn." I would literally use those words. Those words would hype myself up. I would try to make myself look better in God's eyes. I would go. My attention span is horrible. I can't sit in class. That's why the main reasons why I didn't go to school. I'm sitting there and the rabbis are talking about halachas. I want to just blow up on them and be like, you repeated yourself 10 times. I still don't understand anything.
So at that time, I feel like you needed to find something that you
Right,
connected
but I
with.
forced myself to go because in the back of my head is, you know how they say, if you learn for 1 hour a day, you have a spot in Shemayim.
Yeah, listen.
Right?
Hey, listen.
That's true.
Yeah.
You would
And
definitely
I would force
got
myself. I would leave. I would urge to leave at 10 o'clock. Okay, I check mark today. I learned Torah. Reality, I didn't learn anything. Well, the whole point, what I'm trying to say is that I did those things was because of him.
You should know something though. The time you spent there,
still
whether you
valuable.
liked it or
Yeah,
not,
it's still valuable.
osmosis, it seeped into your mind and it affected you to a certain level. You could have been much a different person if you didn't
That's
go.
how you learn the word Kal Vachomer.
Exactly. Not only that,
Literally where we're learning
not only that,
about
there's a concept that God
And then
doesn't
these
listen.
maneuvers, you could pull a nice muscle doing this. Honestly.
There's a concept that God does not detract reward from any one of His creations, which means that's time that time that was hard for you, that you spent there, you sat down, God will reward you for it.
I'm still waiting for the reward.
Listen, this is just a temporary life. The real
Right.
reward is in
So
Allah.
what I'm trying to say is, it wasn't even religion. Like, this may sound stupid what I was saying, I was a kid though. We would go to the park, we would walk to the park. If I'm wearing sweats and my older brother's wearing shorts, I'd walk in his room, what are you wearing, shorts? All right, I will go change into shorts.
There's nothing
That's
wrong
what
with
bad
it. There's nothing
whatever.
wrong with that.
I was saying it was
You looked
bad,
up to your
but
older
I
brother.
feel like there's a whole other episode
know,
looming here.
man.
No, what I'm
Family,
trying,
How to treat your older brother.
what I'm trying to say, this is what I'm trying to say.
You guys need a therapy session? Like,
We have these all the time, bro.
we just yell at each other on a.
Should come on Shabbat one time upstairs.
Come on Shabbat, it gets nice.
serious.
Yeah.
It gets
What
controversial.
I'm trying to say is, from what I've seen in my experience in religion and others people's experience, right? You guys see the tragedy apart from other people. I see kids, older people, they pursue religion because they don't want to let someone down, or they do it because someone in their family is religious. And I came from that background. Because obviously now, I mean, all three of us are in a kippah. I'm not wearing a kippah. Even before this podcast, you guys asked me, where's my kippah? I'm like, listen, I don't have the kippah. Even when he eventually, when he got married and he moved out, you know, that guilt, I guess you could say,
Disappeared.
It disappeared in a way, because it's like, you know, I don't have to make anyone proud anymore. So I would slowly,
forget
it's not
about
because of
God?
him. I would slowly, whatever, I got it, you know, life hit me in the face. I grew up, I had different experiences, and I slowly fell off the derech, right? But I still try to keep intact with what I grew up with, right? Did I fall off? 100%. I'm not scared to say it. I definitely fall off the
We're gonna
derech.
pull you back though.
So I like where he's going with this, and I'll explain to you.
That was my whole point, was because there's people that
People go into it for different reasons.
Yes.
yeah,
and
one of the reasons was not to disappoint someone in their family.
So I'll explain to you one thing that he's bringing up that I'm happy he's talking about is I feel like he had a faulty foundation, and that's why it quickly broke apart. Like he said, when you moved, he didn't have that motivation anymore because I didn't have my brother there, so he quickly fell off. So what I'll tell you is very important. I remember Cohen used to tell us all the time, when you're becoming religious, right? When you have to set goals for yourself. Like, okay, like right now, I'm gonna do this and this and this, but you can't get stagnant. Like Danny always says, you can't just stay in one place and think, oh, I'm religious. I keep Shabbat, that's it, I'm good. Like, I don't have to do anything else anymore. No, you always have to grow. So to sit down and to make yourself, I don't want to say that you have to write down, okay, hey, my goal is to do this and this and this. No, but you do have to have an idea of how you're going to grow. If you don't have the good foundation when you become religious, it's very easy to go backwards.
I think the only way you're going to get that growth is if you actually learn. So once you start learning about things, then it's like, oh wow, I didn't know this.
I've got like 12 Gemaras, I don't know where they are.
You never open them up to learn them.
Hey, what do you mean?
No, you have to
I use them more than you.
Ilya, it's not only about just buying a Gemara. It's about...
You can't just buy knowledge, man. You gotta actually...
See, you guys are different because you gained a passion towards it. There's a lot
but
to learn.
Okay, so that spark never opened up with
But
you.
where did it come from?
It came from like an appreciation.
Exactly, because when we would go to learn, whenever I say we, I mean me and Danny.
Yeah, because we were doing this together.
Yeah, we were like literally, our paths were almost the same.
Yeah.
Right.
And we used each other as motivation, like, right? Let's say he started wearing a kippah, I saw him like, oh, if he started wearing a kippah, I could start wearing a kippah.
Right, that's where the saying comes, tell me who your friend is, I'll tell you who you are.
Not only that, so I was actually going to get into that. Who you surround yourself is very important when it comes to religion. Because again, if you're going to have friends who are the complete opposite, it's very hard to keep that up.
100%.
That's a huge point you just made.
Yes, no.
Your surroundings
are very important when it comes to
dilute into your life, whether you like it or not.
There's a saying, you're the average of the 5 people that you hang out with most, right? Something like that.
So let's get back on track a little
we
bit.
We got to talk about the benefits.
Yeah,
it's really important. Like, why did you become religious? Why did you have that desire?
So just full transparency here. In the beginning, I kind of thought like him. If I do this, God will bless me. I will, because again, I didn't.
Which, by the way, is okay because that's what God guaranteed.
Yeah.
That's the entry level. It's okay to do things for reward in the beginning.
And other people do it because of fear. Oh, I don't want this bad thing to happen to me, so I'm going to do this.
I came from a place of fear. I'll be very honest with you. Yosef would know. He used that tactic against me. I came from a place of fear. He told me, Mike, you don't do this. It's this, and that got to me. It's like, oh wait, I don't want that. I don't want that. That punishment. So I decided to grow with fear. Yes, in the beginning, that's okay. There's a lot of people that, they don't really like it that way. They want only love, and shower me with love and I'll grow. Me, I needed that fear to push me and I used it. The biggest benefit for me, in the beginning, thought, okay, this is just going to make my life better. Like he told me, I'll give you an example, very quick example. Kosher meat, right? When I started keeping kosher, he told me, Mike, it's much healthier for you. And for me, that just stuck with me. Okay, so it benefits me right away in a health way. What he meant was spiritual health. I just didn't understand it that way.
You could eat kosher food your whole life and still get diabetes and etc. and all this.
So I did it towards gain right away. Again, maybe that's not the best reason to do it, but again, it's a start. And then from there, you learn and you get the other benefits that come from. But for me, the initial benefit was, honestly, it brought a lot of structure in my life. In the beginning, it really, really did bring a lot of structure.
It brings a lot of clarity.
I'd like to bring up one point also for both of you, and my brother, but your religious levels also ignited when you guys got married also. Your wives kind of helped you.
No, we were more already established before that. Of course they helped.
We became more religious after marriage.
I mean, your situation is different because
they knew what they wanted before they got married.
Yeah.
And so they married a person that has the same goals as them religiously. And that's why they were able to grow more and expand more.
If you asked me what I wanted from a wife when I first became religious to when I was getting married, it was complete. I used to tell Yosef, I never want my wife to cover her hair. I was like, why do I want my wife to cover her hair? She's gonna be ugly. And then when I was getting married, I was begging my wife to cover her hair. It changes your mindset.
Once you start learning
exactly. But you wanted to bring up a point. Let's get back to that.
So what you said about fear, the human nature is to react to fear immediately and quickly, more so than any other emotion. So therefore, if we want to get someone started on the path, for some people, fear works because at the end of the day, there are repercussions for a person's decisions in this life. And if he chooses to act against the will of God, God has to, he doesn't want to punish anybody, he wants to reward everybody. But he created a world of justice and free will and fair game, and therefore he gave you and everyone else the power, the capability to choose right or wrong. So if a person chooses wrong, he must be punished in order to uphold the integrity of the creation. Just like, we have children, we have kids. If the kid keeps doing something against our will, something wrong, not only for this, but something that's bad for himself, he just doesn't know it yet. We're telling him, don't do this. This is not good. Do it this way. And he's stubborn and he continues. You have to show that there's authority. You have to punish him. There's consequences for that action. Yes. And when you do that many times, hopefully, if he's not a problem child, the kid will react. The kid will say, okay, I don't want to deal with that punishment anymore. Let me change my behavior. And then eventually, as they grow and mature, as we all did, we tend to appreciate that source, that parent figure who taught us all those things. And we think back, we say, wow, now we understand why they said these things. And we begin to love that person and that entity, and in this case, God, more so over time. So it starts with fear, and it eventually builds to the ideal, which is serving God out of love.
It could be just a mix of both. Everyone has different paths. It doesn't have to start with fear. It could be a good balance, healthy balance.
Well, you have a little bit different, because Danny's a little bit fearless. So I wouldn't say that you started with fear. I think you started more of an appreciation. So talk about that a little bit.
Just knowledge. I just wanted to learn about it. Once I started learning it, I appreciated it more. It just brought me clarity. It brought me like, wow, this makes sense. Like, how come I didn't know this before? Or like, now it's just like you have a sense of community, you go to shul, there's structure, like Mike mentioned before. It made life more worth it. It made it worthwhile. It wasn't just vain and emptiness. It was actually something to live for, something positive. Purpose. That's the word. It was like purpose, exactly. So I think that's one of the main benefits you get when you jump into it. But then, of course, people have expectations. Sometimes people, like Mike said, they think overnight you're going to change. Yeah. You're going to jump into it, you're going to keep everything overnight, and then first of all, it's overwhelming.
It is.
And no one is you're not supposed to do it that way.
You're not going to be Rabbi Akiva overnight.
Nobody. You're not supposed to do it that way. You're supposed to take it on your own level. Everyone has a different path. Some people go faster, some people go slower. And you just have to see where you are more comfortable, and over time you'll grow.
I'll be honest, like if I really took on so much, and when I first became religious, I probably would have dropped it.
Yeah, it's too much.
It's
too much pressure.
It's a lot, because not only is your full mindset changing, everything about your lifestyle changes.
Every decision you make.
Exactly. There's this thing, right, that you have to have in your mind constantly, right, that God is over me, watching over me. That
there's something called 6 constant mitzvot, 6 constant commandments that you can fulfill with thoughts about God.
So imagine, like, your whole, everything about your identity, everything changes. That's hard for some people. That's a big thing that they wake up like, wow. Now imagine, like, every restaurant that I go to has to be kosher, right? And then every place that I go to must be modest, right? The way I dress, the way I look, the way I talk.
So even that's a big transition, because people think it's okay if I go to a non-kosher restaurant as long as they're not serving meat. I can have their pizza, I can have their salad,
some people
I can have their fish, which a lot of people started, and some of us on this panel probably did as well. Now we're not saying that it's allowed, but we understand it.
As long as you admit that what you're doing at that point, it's wrong.
By the way, we should dedicate an episode to that kind of kosher food. That's a big. You know what's a big problem? People go on vacation and think everything's allowed. Okay, so we're going to talk about one episode.
That's a whole other.
Okay, fine.
Yes. like Mike.
This guy.
If let's say you and me were eating non-kosher pizza, like, we knew that it was wrong. We just.
For that time, for that moment that we were doing,
for your level, it was okay.
Exactly, it was not.
No, not that it was okay.
For your conscience, it was okay.
It wasn't okay. It's not that it was okay. When you was wrong, but we're gonna get
there yet.
You were okay with doing it at that moment?
No, we weren't okay with doing it.
I would do it, and I would hate myself for doing it because I wasn't ready yet.
Okay, so now instead of killing the guy, they're just stabbing him a few times. What's the difference?
See, you're an extremist.
We're gonna get there. That's why it's a journey. It's a journey. People have to understand it's a journey.
It was not funny.
Well, think about it. Conceptually, it's the same thing.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
No, because what happens is people go.
I know that.
Bro, people go to Israel. They stay there for a month. They think they're a rabbi. They come back. They're religious for 3 months, like crazy, and then they drop everything. And right now they're not keeping Shabbat.
Completely.
Why? Because they took too much too fast. Everything has to be done in, like,
of course.
mediation.
Agreed.
At a certain point, I wouldn't even chew non-kosher gum.
You know how many bugs are in non-kosher gum, bro? know how many bugs are in
Trying to make
non-kosher gum?
advertisements for his business over here.
What are you dropping these advertisements?
Bro, don't talk to me about bugs.
You know how many bugs are in non-kosher gum?
There's bugs that go in your mouth when you're sleeping.
Okay, but that's not in your
That's not
control.
true.
You
If
told
that-
me you were
Of
kids.
Bugs in non-kosher gum?
course, look at the ingredients.
Bugs?
Sometimes.
They use stuff from bugs.
Certain ingredients can come
Stop
from
it, bro.
But even then, you should know, even certain ingredients that come from bugs, for example, there's a red dye that
Me
comes
neither.
from a bug that is actually used in many
Red
food
five?
colorings, which is still has kosher certification. Why? Because there are halachic means to nullify it and allow it. But that's a whole nother conversation.
Once I
Again.
heard there's bugs in there, I was like, I dropped it.
Right. So first point, I want to just sort of consolidate
Yeah,
what we're
consolidate
saying.
the benefits.
What are the benefits of becoming religious? First of all, community. Your community automatically gets upgraded. You're part of a shul system. You get connections. But again, those are fringe benefits. The main benefit is that you're getting closer to your
You have
creator.
a relationship with Hashem.
That's the most important thing. Everything else is fringe benefits, okay? What else? Traditional roots, you have to remember, being a Jew, you are an exclusive person if you're
Prince.
a Jew. Do you understand what that means? We're 0.000 something percent of the population of the world, yet we have the most influence and power, and we're talked about the most, we're loved and hated the most. Everything's about us.
And I don't know why you don't wear your crown, bro.
What crown?
Okay? So hold on,
keeper.
let me finish this. So another thing,
I got a few more years left until I go bald. I'll wear it then.
again, you're able to grow spiritually, and the wealth of knowledge we have in the Torah from our sages just completely opens up your mind and your intellect and the way you think. So that's going to spill over to all other aspects of your life, your business, your family, your relationships, all those things. So the benefits are endless, and we can talk about it
You'll
forever.
get them.
Can I interrupt you for 1 second? Can I ask you, you've been like the most quiet so far, but what's holding you back? Like why are you not...
Are we going to turn this into an intervention?
No, I just
episode?
want to know, this is part of
Holding
the
back to
discussion.
what?
To become, like, to get back on the derech, like for real. Not just,
Honest answer? Because that's not me.
what does that mean? It's not
Maybe that's
that's
not
not
you
me.
now.
What does that mean it's not you?
That's not me because I thought that was me years ago.
So you
when
got
I
to
was-
change you. Whatever you is, you got to change.
There it is. That's why I'm not like that, because of that. What do you mean? You gotta change it. What is that? I don't understand what that means.
Do you have a problem?
I don't understand what that means, that's not me.
Do you have a problem with people's expectations from you? Is that
It's not
what's
expectation,
bothering
it's just
you?
me, myself. It's like, I can't do certain things.
I just, like, my thing is, I want
You
to
can.
understand.
You can do it. You choose not to.
Because I want to understand from a person like him, like, what's holding him back from
It's not only that,
accept-
I'll explain to you. It's not like I was never religious and I want to become religious, right?
No, but you said that you were
It's
more
very simple.
religious
I
than
know-
you
listen.
were.
More religious, a lot more religious.
Can I be honest with
I
you?
literally learn after, like, at home.
Ilya,
said that already.
Ilya,
No, like,
you said it yourself earlier. You're my little brother. I've known you your whole life.
Okay.
I know you better than you know yourself.
Okay.
Okay. The main reason why you're not where we would like you to be today, spiritually, is because of the people you surround yourself with.
yes, but that's not their fault.
You said it yourself. When you were close to me, you wanted to be like me. Now I left. I got married. Now you want to be like your other
I don't want
friends.
to be like them. It has nothing to do with them because if I didn't
No,
agree
they
with
influence
it's not-
you want to
if
be
I didn't
validated
agree-
by them.
No, if I didn't agree what they did, I wouldn't be around them.
That's not true.
We should
I
start
can-
hanging
I
out
can-
with him more. Come hang out with us.
Seriously?
They wanted me to go on vacation with them last year. I'm like, what are you guys gonna do? Learn Torah, be in bed by 9 o'clock? I don't get it.
We wanted you to go on vacation.
Miami, I think someone told me to come with you
I
guys.
would have never invited you.
We had a great time.
Regardless.
We had a great time.
Anyways, it's what was I saying? It's not about them because I'm not gonna sit here and say, yeah, it's my lifestyle and the people. I chose to be with them. I admit it. I choose to be with them.
Right, and you
Right.
chose to follow them and be like
I
them
didn't follow them.
and emulate
me
them.
following them, I'll tell you what me following them is me not wanting to do it,
Some
but
of
I'm
your
only
boys are
doing it to
religious.
validate
Some of your
it.
boys
I have
are
a lot of
religious.
boys who are religious.
Isn't that
Actually, to bring up a very nice topic, since the whole when you guys are talking about how he made you guys religious, at that time, he I wanted to be like my brother. So I had a lot of secular boys. So majority of my friends didn't grow up religious at all. So I was like, me and my brother Manny were like, yo, we also had a crew like, yo, we gotta get them into religion. And slowly we were bringing our friends to shul, so
The good old days.
they would start to keep Shabbat, we would guide them, and all of a sudden they completely fell off the derech. And I think we kind of, like, not on purpose, but we just got busy, we just kind of parted ways. Then when we reconnected, actually one of my good childhood best friends also had a very tragic thing happen to him, where he got very sick. And
Like life-threatening sick.
life-threatening sick.
Yeah.
And he
Young guy.
Young guy is my age. And as he was in recovery, he actually met his wife, and the worst physical possibility or physical appearance possible or internal. He was
Because of the
like,
treatment, yeah,
because of the treatment. And he actually met his wife. She accepted him for who he is. I violate her all day, every day for doing that, like, but whatever.
Now they're married, living happily ever after.
And he actually became more religious than I am,
And he got better.
He got much better, and his life changed for the better. Like, he was a troubled kid. Like, we all grew up together. He was a very reckless kid, But even now, I literally spoke to him last night. He does a lot more things that I do, and he does it with pure passion. Like, he does it like,
So you're missing
That's the point. But that goes back to what we were saying in the first minute of the episode. We don't want tragedy to strike in order to wake a person up. Guys, we live in the era of October 7th. I have to mention this quickly, okay? This happened 2 years ago. That was one of the disgusting, horrific tragedies that happened to Jewish people in the last 100 years. One of them, okay? And guess what? You know what happened after that? It was horrible. It was terrible. All agree. But what happened after that? There was an uprising. All of a sudden, people were like, okay, God, let's be religious. Let's say Tehillim. Let's light candles on Shabbat. Why are we forcing God's hand? Do you understand what I'm saying? If we were doing what we had to be doing, the world would look different today.
Yeah, but you can't convince 7 billion people.
Also, Ilya, when we speak right now, all this stuff, we're also talking about ourselves. We're also not doing everything we should be doing, could be doing. Everyone has their own journey. Everyone has their own
I get that.
path.
I'll say straight up how it is. I don't do that now. Listen, even really quick, kind of a side topic. Any girl that I speak to, right? Religious, not religious, it's either I mention it to them or they mention it to me. Like, what do you see? Like, what's your religious level? Right? And I tell them straight up off the bat. I don't hide games like, I keep full kosher, I'm a cool little boy, my rabbi's my best friend. No, I don't do that. I tell them straight up how it is. This is who I was, this is me now.
So what do you say?
Can I be at a greater level in the future?
Yes.
Only God knows, yes. Anything can change. I said that, I'm like, right now, who you're getting to know, this is me. And even with these religious girls also. Like, when they ask me that question, right? Or I ask them that question. Like me personally, whatever I went through in the past 4 or 5 years, would I date a girl who's not religious? Probably not. For the most part, about 85% not. 90% no.
That's good.
Because it's just, I'm not going to sit
So you appreciate it, but you just can't bring yourself to it.
I'm not going to sit
Is that what you're saying?
I'm not going to keep Shabbat while she's going to be on her phone.
We already did a dating episode, but I'll tell
I
you.
don't care what we did.
No. Well, you're like in this quasi stage. You're in a
Why
quasi
are you so
stage.
by the book? I don't get it.
Because you're in a quasi stage right now.
Quasi, schmazi.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're saying. Talk to me in English, bro.
There's no quasi. Take out your phone and look at it.
Okay, it means in the middle.
Yeah, you're in the middle ground.
Get in the middle. You brought up religion. Religion is a big factor of everything that you do.
Right,
What do you
but that's
mean?
like these girls that you're dating, you're in the middle ground, so
Forget
some of them
these
are more religious than you,
girls.
some of them
I'm
are
not
it all.
You brought it
trying
up.
to say, I'm trying to talk about religion. You guys are retarded, bro.
Did I bring up the girls?
All I'm trying to say is that even that I fell off the derrick when I go on the outbound part of my life into dating girls who are not religious, no, I wouldn't do that. Right? Because of my childhood.
Which means, again, you
repetition.
appreciate it.
Exactly.
You value it. Admit that it's good. Say it's a good thing. I want to hear those words.
I never said it was a bad thing.
Say it's an amazing thing.
He's saying I'm in quasi mode here.
Let's all
You are though. You are. You're stuck in the middle.
I'm not stuck in the middle because I came to 28 years old. I accepted the fact of who I am and who I am in religion. Listen, there's a lot of times.
It's just the middle is hard. The middle, it's hard to find someone that's in the same
but
middle.
I can't be in the extreme.
It's not about extreme.
I can't wake up and put 9 films on my head. I can't do that.
No, we don't do that.
No one puts nine
You guys
fillers.
put 2 each.
No,
not nine,
I
bro.
don't.
Next year's gonna be 4, bro.
I don't.
I put 3 actually. That's a different story.
3. There we go. Look at this.
You see, Yosef, I like
His
what he,
fears,
I
he's
like
Okay, just put one.
Wait, can I say something? Wait, I want to sum up what he's saying.
Quasi,
I
man.
actually had this problem with my wife. One of the biggest things that I remember I used to speak to my wife when she was becoming religious. I used to ask her, like, what's holding me back? She's like, because if I know if I do this, then I have to do this,
of
this,
course.
and this.
Yes.
So
That's
people,
not true there.
Yes, but not all in one day.
Not all
people are
exactly.
afraid of that, guys. Look,
Let Mike finish.
Yosef,
I got something to say, but go ahead.
people are afraid of that. They're afraid
Yeah, it's a
if
good point,
I do
Mike.
this, I have to now do this.
The fear
this,
of
and-
commitment.
Yes.
No.
It's not only
Yeah,
expectations,
that's what it is.
expectations. It's
It's
the fear.
exactly.
Real quick. I went to shul yesterday.
Can I finish?
No, I have to get it out. No.
He's going to forget it.
No, I went to shul yesterday.
God bless you.
No, I went to shul all the time.
We had a great time
I
yesterday.
went to
man.
shul earlier because I went to his house. He left me. I walked out of his house.
Oh, stop right there. We told him to come for lunch at 1.
Okay.
Okay?
He showed
Hold
up
on. He shows up at 3:30. We already left at 3 o'clock.
What do you have to
No.
do on Shabbat?
Pray.
We had other appointments.
Anyways, I go to his house. His neighbor's son said they left. So then they went to the park. I went to the park. I couldn't find them. Long story short, went to the park. Instead of walking back to my house, we went to shul earlier.
Who's we?
Me and my brother went to shul to learn to avoid the hour walk back and forth. So
God did you a favor.
Listen, so I ended up going to his shul that he was in. A lot of people that I know there. One of our good friends also that I'm not gonna name names that was there, and he was giving a lecture, I guess, to children. For some reason, he was asking for my attention the whole time yesterday.
To child.
There's like 6 kids
People
there.
enjoy your
There's
company.
6 kids there. He's going like this to me. You hear what I'm saying? I'm like, bro.
Because you were looking like this. You were looking out into the sunset, bro.
Yeah. So
You gotta pay attention.
So I heard he's teaching them something. I forgot what the rule was. The rule was, what's the word when you are you allowed to pull hair on Shabbat? What's the word?
Gozez.
Gozez.
Shearing.
Gozez. So I'm sitting there. My brain is always working. I'm thinking about who I have to call for work. What am I gonna do?
But it's Shabbat.
But
It's Shabbat.
Okay, listen. You know what I heard? I bugged out. I wanted to get up and leave, go home.
What did you
Really?
He told me, he goes, if you have a booger in your nose,
Stop.
and there's
Stop.
a piece of hair attached to that booger,
Stop it.
if you pull that booger, did you just do one of the 39 Melachot on Shabbat? I wanted to get up and like, yo, it was good to see you. I saw you Yom Kippur. And I wanted to go home, bro. But I love the guy. Look at that. I have love for him.
Stop, Ilya. Stop.
I can't pick my booger in peace now? I don't get it.
This is stupid, bro.
Bro, I'm serious.
Okay.
Because
Look.
what your wife just said, if I do this, then I have to do 57 more million things. By next year, I'm going to hell. That's how it is.
I don't remember hell being that.
Listen, full transparency. Full transparency. That is a valid topic of halakha that poskim speak about. Why? Listen. It's funny. It sounds
He
funny.
told me. He's looking at me. He goes, "This is a very interesting topic."
Can I?
What's interesting about it?
You probably has something in your nose, bro.
No, it wasn't. It was telling the children, bro. I'm like,
Listen, can I explain this? Because I don't want the viewers to get confused. Okay, I have to just explain. Now you brought it up. One of the 39 forbidden creative acts on Shabbat is called gozez, which is called shearing, which is defined by removing hair from a living being. Okay, that's what shearing. You should shear wool from an animal, from a lamb, to create certain parts of the Beit HaMikdash. That's why God forbade it as one of the creative 39 actions on Shabbat. And guess what? A human being has hair. So if you were to remove hair from any part of your body, 2 hairs to be exact, that would be a violation. If you did it on purpose, knowing that's forbidden, and you did it, that would be a violation of Shabbat. So now the question was, if you're blowing your nose, which we're all human beings, we all have noses, we have allergies, whatever it is. If you're blowing your nose, and along with the schmutz that comes out of your nose, some hairs you pulled out as well, does that constitute a violation of Shabbat? It's a valid question. So that he was answering that no, if it wasn't your intent, and it might not, there's no guarantee that hair will come out. It might not. And it wasn't your intent, for that reason, it's permitted, it's not a problem.
You had to bring this up?
Yes, I did.
I had to clarify.
I did. And there's a reason why I brought this up. There's a reason why I brought this up, right? If there's a book written about boogers, right? No, it's not funny.
Is that the whole book?
Why are you holding on to that?
No, because I'm trying to explain something.
Okay,
Because a lot of
I know what
people-
you're trying to say.
Yes, because if I keep 100 mitzvot, all of a sudden, the 101 mitzvot I didn't keep on Shabbat, I'm karet from the next life.
No one
It's
said that, bro.
You're overreacting.
I'm
Yeah.
overreacting.
You're the extremist when you say
I'm
things
not
like that.
extremist. He's an extremist.
No, when
God
you say
forbid.
things like that, that's the
You're
extreme.
telling me that I need to be stoned to the
Chas v'shalom. First of all,
What kind of conversations happen in this house, bro?
No, you know what he would say?
You
He would
need
say,
therapy.
no, you know what he would say?
this is complete exaggeration. I was
No,
about
it's
to
not
say.
exaggeration.
Complete
It's not
hyperbole.
directed towards me. But he would say-
Exaggeration,
he would-
hyperbole.
No.
You need therapy, bro.
That's terrible. I'm trying to say
listen.
that when a person goes into religion, there's a never-ending cycle.
But that's the beauty of it. Don't you understand? It's infinitely great.
He sees the never ending as a negative.
Yeah.
You see it as a burden. That's the
Yeah.
problem. You see it as a burden.
I mean, a lot of people
So we
say
got to talk about that.
Yeah,
Yes.
it can't
A
be
lot
a
of
burden.
people
If
see
it's
it
a
as a
burden,
burden.
then yeah, just stay
Yeah,
home,
like
bro.
the segue.
Yes, a lot of people see it as a burden.
So Yosef, please.
Okay.
Enlighten us.
Here's what you have to understand, all right? And a lot of people have the same question. The question is, I'm a human being, I have free will. Why does God or the sages of the Torah have to dictate every single step of my life? That's your question, including how I wipe myself in the bathroom, how I blow my nose,
There's
right?
laws for that?
Right? There are. Guess what?
Baby towel.
There are. But
baby wipes for Shabbat.
there are rules, but it's
Baby
all.
wipes.
Listen, it's all in good time. The message is that every single thing you do in this world is somehow or another, some way or another, connected to serving God. It's the opportunity to serve God, which means to do it the way He wants it done. And by doing that, you're connecting to the ultimate source.
Yeah, but
And there's explanations and logical explanations and capitalistic explanations for every detail in
I
Torah.
just feel like people will lose sight eventually of who they are.
Because you just don't know enough about it. That's the point. If you dedicate time to learn every day, you'll appreciate it more.
So in your perspective, Torah is never ending, so you'll never know anything about it.
No. It's never ending in the sense that there's so much knowledge to
But
know.
all your views
I'm
are
extremist.
extreme.
I'll tell you what, because I went through the past 15 years of my life. I tried to figure myself out in religion. No matter what I did, there was something more than that.
You were going to the wrong lectures or something. 'Cause it
you-
didn't
I don't go to
resonate.
lectures. What lectures,
You
bro?
went to 1 hour with him. You sat every day for 15 years. It did nothing for you because it
I
was
went to a
not.
few lectures. I went for the free food, bro. That's it. And I got diarrhea the next day from that food.
Listen, the point is,
I think you guys sponsored
No.
that for that too. Also,
no one is expecting you to become fully religious in a short time. As long as you're
Baby,
growing
that's not born
a
on
drop
any
a day, a drop a week, a drop a year even, whatever it is, just as long as you're on the way up, and you have to be really doing what you're comfortable with, but what you know in your heart your potential is.
Well, Yosef, it's not only what you're comfortable with, because sometimes
Right, you got to take yourself out of the comfort zone. Right,
For a little bit, yeah.
That was not properly
The point is to know that whatever this to do things a certain way, it's just the right way to do it. If you're not doing it that way at this point, but just know that that's the right way to do it. You'll get there eventually. But like, let's say, I don't know, give me an example. Let's say keeping Shabbat. People know keeping Shabbat is the right thing to do.
okay.
So if you're admitting, yes, keeping Shabbat is the right thing to do, I just can't do it at the moment, okay. Hopefully, eventually you get there. But if you're going to say, keeping Shabbat is stupid, no, I don't want to do it just because you don't want to do it, and say it's wrong, then that's already the wrong
No, but some
perspective.
people have that perspective.
Like my old brother tells me all the time, when he comes over, come to learn with me on Shabbat. Come to the shiur, 6 o'clock. There was many times where I forced myself. I can't. Like I just don't want to go there. It doesn't enlighten me. It doesn't. It's not. It doesn't.
You have to
entice me
find
go
a
there.
group that's fun for you.
Yeah, Mike, me and you got lucky, bro. We really
You have
did.
to find out what's
We were
fucking
very
good.
blessed.
Yeah,
We
With Cohen.
with Cohen, and then
we then
I wanted the whole set of Mam Loez. Right? I bought one book, I loved it. I bought the second book, I loved it. I wanted the whole set. I told Ricky about it. Ricky's like, okay, give me a day or two. He calls me back the next day. Somebody was donating a whole set for me that they were
literally
getting
the
rid
whole
of because
set,
they were
right?
moving. The whole set, they just donated to me. It was amazing.
Yeah.
So all I did, I took the first step, and Hashem took all the rest of the steps for me.
Rabbi Kaplan wrote the memo, right?
The first couple of
Already
them.
happened when he passed away.
It's about
Yeah, that's a long
presentation.
time.
You have to find someone who presents it to you in a way that you can appreciate it, and that you connect with, and that you. It's
All I'm trying to
At the
say
end of
is,
the day, you can't lose sight that becoming religious is also establishing and creating a relationship with your Creator, with Hashem, right? So you have to do that where it benefits your relationship. But yes, I don't agree with the fact that you're not supposed to be forced to do things, because sometimes when you're forced to do things, it kind of has the opposite effect on you.
Yeah, for me, force, it turns me
people
off.
don't like
I
it.
can't handle
So
it.
maybe that's why you feel like you're forced to do certain things. Maybe that's why you're turned off to it. Me, I'm a very rare case. Me, I went from everything I did out of fear to 5 years ago when I had a very, very crazy experience in my life, and where I went from fear to love. I had to learn how to love to do things. And it changed my whole life. We're going to talk about it in another episode. Mental health. But no, it's true. But yeah, you have to find what connects to you, what gets you. But at the end of the day, the most important thing is your relationship with God. That's the most important thing. Like I was reading this book. I want to bring this in. Reading this book called Amidah by Rabbi Ilya Mansour. He wrote a book about praying, right?
Yeah.
So it says that praying is not for God. God doesn't need your prayers at the end of the day. We need to pray. And the biggest mistake that people think is when we pray, like Amidah, or when we do personal prayers, that we think that it's all about just asking God, and if we get it, that means it was a successful prayer, right? If I ask for a BMW and I get a BMW, that was when the prayer was successful. No, it's wrong. He says clearly wrong. He said this is not
very childish way to look at it.
He said exactly those words. He said that's a child. Just I whine about it, and then I get it, and that's when it's successful. No, praying is for us to establish the success of a prayer is to establish the relationship with God. I was always told, you want a good connection with God, every little thing you do, pray to God about it. You're about to go home and it's going to be hard to find a parking spot, pray to God, Please Hashem, help me get a parking spot when I get home.
Yeah, but that's the same. That's you being contradiction. Just
Why am I
No,
getting
he's saying just
contradictory?
pray for it.
Just pray
It
for
happens,
it.
doesn't happen. He's still praying for it. He's
Yeah.
admitting that there's a creator who's running the world. That's
Yeah.
the whole
It
point.
changes your own perception.
Bro,
That even if you don't get it, it was for the
We have to
best.
understand, we don't run anything. God runs everything. You know? So that's how you create the relationship, and that's how you make the relationship stronger. When you rely on God for everything, that's how you do it.
Okay, let's make some closing remarks because I think we've been going on for a good amount of time.
Man, I wanna keep going. This
I
is
know,
this is
but
a
we
great
hit some
topic.
good PowerPoints. I think there could be very well could be a part 2 and 3 to this particular
When he comes
topic
back with a black hat.
with peot and a black hat and tzitzit.
different black hat mean you have in mind.
So yeah, guys, I just want to close this up. I think we did a great job today. There's so much more I want to talk about. If you guys
I think
have
there
any,
should be a part 2. I think
there might be a part 2 to this. If you guys
Audience,
want
what do you think?
if you guys want to see a part 2 to this, please let us know. Like,
With
subscribe,
what
put
questions
comments,
you guys have.
share whatever you guys want us to talk about. We are open to that, and we hopefully we're going to enlighten a lot of you guys out there. We have been a lot on the path that you guys maybe are going through now, and we would love to benefit as much as we can to the world. So let's wrap it up with the following comments.
I think everyone has their own journey. I think you have to be comfortable on your journey. Don't feel pressured. Surround yourself with the right people. And just know that Hashem is going to lead you. You just have to take the first step, and Hashem is going to lead you the rest of the way, and you're going to be on the right path.
That could be a short right there. That's
You
beautiful.
know, I think
That
he
could be
literally
short.
took everything I was going to say and said it, which is amazing.
That's because me and you,
that's how
we were on
we're
this
so
path,
lockstep.
bro.
But
We-
yes,
Maybe you guys are in love with each other.
we are.
There's nothing wrong with loving your friends, man.
Love your friends as you love yourself.
You could love your friends, then you could be in love with your friends.
We're not talking about that right
Oh,
now.
okay.
That's not.
Ilya, you need
Our
therapy,
thing.
honestly. The way I would close everything off is yes, like he said, everyone has their journey, everyone has their path. Just also remember, I feel like God is there to help you. I feel like people sometimes forget that. People think that God is against them, God makes it harder on purpose. No, God is there literally to make it easy for you, but sometimes, yes, there has to be challenges. When there's challenges, there's that feeling of success, there's that feeling of, oh, I got through this and I made it the other side. And with becoming religious, it's a battle, it's a constant battle. It's not easy, it's very, very
Even
hard.
when you are religious, quote
Yeah,
unquote.
even when you are religious, exactly, because we're always growing. That's the whole point. You're always supposed to grow. You're never supposed to just stop. I mean, imagine business. I'm okay, I'm comfortable. How come in business people never think like that? People always want to go get better and better and richer and richer. But with religion, oh, I'm okay. No, it doesn't belong. It always is, how do I grow? How do I become a better person? How do I get closer to my creator?
You want to say anything, Ilya?
I mean,
Just say Shema Yisrael. Just say Shema Yisrael, man. Say Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. God is one.
honestly, there are a lot of moments in my life. I'm not gonna lie, there are a lot of moments in my life where
Can I give you a hug? Brother.
Can you let him speak, bro?
I'm not depressed or something. There's a lot of moments in my life where I needed something really big to happen in my life, where I was in trouble and I needed help, and I actually prayed to God, and I don't know how to get out of that predicament. At the moment when the time came, somehow that problem was solved that day, like right there and then. And it happened like at least 3 or 4 times. And I keep telling
Trust
myself,
me, it happens a lot more than you
I
think.
keep telling myself, I'm like, okay, what are you worrying about if he saved you 3 or 4 times? But my head is just saying, try to figure out your own. All I'm trying to say is that, I'm not saying for the people at home not to become religious if they're not interested enough as you guys were. All I'm saying is I'm going to use this fancy little word, to acquire a certain taste of religion, you kind of have to,
What was the fancy word?
I was waiting for the fancy word. Acquire the taste. Acquire. I think was faster.
Not word, statement. But you have to like kind of love yourself a little bit more than to kind of go into religion. Again, because if you don't really love yourself or have a slight bit of love for yourself, you're not going to do other things that are going to quote unquote, I guess, uplift you in life. So I don't know. It's just people have to go on their own journey. That's all it is. It's just whatever journey that is. Other people who are more religious, rabbis or family members, they can't be judgmental on them about that, because if they are, then they'll sit there and look, he doesn't like what I do. He doesn't like what I do. Why even do it in the first place? Because I'm not going to do it anymore. And I know a lot of people who did that. Like they took Shabbat and certain halachot upon them. They go to shul. Rabbi comes to them and says, you can't dress like this, or you can't do this, or you can't do that. And eventually they would fall off the derech. Like, I tried, I'm doing, everything I'm doing is not right, So what's the point of even doing it?
Especially in our generation, everyone is so super sensitive. You can't overburden people because they will very quickly collapse. We know that. But I'm sorry, did you want to finish something? Anything that's more else?
No, I guess that's it. I'm sure there's going to be a part 2 to this.
There will be.
I think there has to be. But for this episode, this has been the Kosher Controversy Podcast, always keeping it kosher and bringing the controversy. How's that for a line?
That's good.
Wow, that was really good.
I just want you to know that I wanna go to a place where I find you, a place I